And we're live! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Big Girl and Friends. My name is Christopher Wilson, also known as Big Girl, and we are delighted to welcome you to our 11th consecutive week of Big Girl and Friends, filled with fabulous talent, incredible musical theater artists from across the country. We have had an amazing 10 weeks, and the kickoff of our 11th week today with our fabulous guest is no exception. Throughout the past 10 weeks, this has been an ongoing fundraiser for the Actors Fund of Canada, which is located at afchealth.ca. This is an incredible organization that serves as a lifeline for the performing arts community, for artists that are in front of the stage, in front of the camera, as well as behind the scenes, for film, television, and the stage. This organization, as you can well imagine, during what I've come to term the COVID crazy, the demands on their finances to support the artistic community during this time is quite overwhelming. We are thrilled, based on the amazing generosity of our donors throughout the 10 weeks, that we have successfully raised $28,000 and $28,235. So we are just shy of our $30,000 mark. I won't say goal, because when we began this initiative, the whole purpose of this show was to create community and joy and an opportunity for incredible like-minded artists to find a virtual place to meet together when we couldn't do it on stage, and bring it to the people, as I termed the phrase when I had Ms. Gabby Epstein. We love bringing it to the people. But we are very excited that we were able to support the AFC, as I said, with $28,000 in fundraising initiative. We are hoping, if you are viewing the show for the first time because you were here to celebrate and enjoy the fabulous talents and effervescence of our wonderful guests this evening, if you are in a position to donate during the show, we invite you to please go to afchealth.ca. There's a big bolded donate now. Click on the link. We have a representative from the Actors Fund of Canada standing by to let us know about real-time donations so that we can shout out your beautiful generosity during the show. If you are here for the fun and the frivolity, that is also great. And we are just delighted to have you here for the beginning of our 11th week. That's a 1 plus a 1, 11. I am super excited to welcome to the stream my co-host partner in crime. He is one of my best friends in the world. He's the associate director of the company that's initiating this, Toronto Musical Concerts, a fabulous actor, educator, and all-around superstar fabulous guy who looks really good in his COVID mask. Please welcome, at the beginning of the 11th week, my co-host, Mr. Ryan Kelly.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
wow.
Hello,
Mariah. What's going on? Hello, my baby.
Hello, yeah. Hello, Mariah. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal.
That frog.
Yeah,
I love that frog. And then what is it? What's that Mel Brooks movie where it's the alien doing it? Is that Spaceballs?
Probably.
Or is it? It could be. I can't remember.
No. Spaceballs is the parody of Star Wars, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I think it's also. But I know there's a Mel Brooks movie where the chest burster comes out and he does the "Hello, my baby." It kills me. It's so silly. How are you today?
You know what? I think authenticity. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I woke up this morning. I had a little bit of a achy night and a little bit sweaty night. So I've been a little bit low and chill, but I'm actually realizing that as I'm doing this, probably at like 8:01, I'll be like,
yeah.
But right now, I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, that's what we do. The show must go on. Flick on the switch, turn it to 11, right?
Absolutely. But I had a beautiful weekend. I mean, weekend by Sunday, it was a gorgeous day, a lovely day today. It's so. Do you remember 10 weeks ago when we started?
Yeah.
Yes. Like 10 weeks ago when we started the stream, it was like dark by 7.
Oh yes, absolutely, it was dark.
Yeah.
And that's been the difference. It feels. I realize that if we stay in quarantine for as long as we have, it will be August.
Oh, if we stay from now until
like it, and then I went, where did the time go?
Yeah, for another 2.5 months. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, we have accomplished things within our confines, and it's not. And I don't mean about quantifying our accomplishments, but I know so many people have not only. They've done their taxes. They've done renovations. They've painted. I painted my bathroom and my kitchen. They've they've created music. Grant Tilley has written some lovely music, and they've done their own live streams and shows, Duff McDonald's show and stuff like that. They've been cutting their own hair. They're dyeing their own hair. They're making their own clothes. People like, you know, it's been. I think it's been I don't know if it's a total reset. Obviously, it's not. The world is in immense unrest right now, and the rebellion continues down in the States at this time. And then now there are the accumulated stresses regarding what happens regarding social distancing and you know what's going to happen in 2 weeks to their system if the disease is spread. But at the same time, yes, terrible things, but so many good things are happening right now. And if we can take anything away from this, it's the fact that we can cut our own hair. At least the front. Like I said, like I might have a full ponytail happening, horse's mane. I don't know. It might just be like Elvis I'm not sure exactly. Full mullet, but I'm giving my Road to Avonlea kind of best, like general store kind of pivotal character of like Mr. Jones at the store sort of thing. I'm trying to. I've never done an Avonlea project. I've directed a kids version of Anne of Green Gables, but I never did Anne of Green Gables. I never got on the Avonlea shows, and I have to say I've had a little tinge of green on me going through this entire series.
There are still a bunch of roles in Avonlea that are age appropriate to you. So
well, I know, but my dreams of playing Diana are like well gone. So you know, cream is anything more delectable. Is that it? Yeah. I actually did an American version. Did you know that there's an American version?
I do now.
Young audiences version, American version of Anne of Green Gables. With an interesting version. No, I did that with Bravo. Bravo did that last year. Yeah. They did a whole, Melissa did an entire Anne of Green Gables fall, and the set was beautiful, and the kids just really enjoyed it.
Speaking of things to connect things, you know, things we've accomplished and virtual and what you just mentioned. So Melissa Bensick, who runs the incredible Bravo Academy, providing arts education, particularly musical theater focused and private music lessons for young people in the city and emerging artists. They just had this past weekend on Friday, Saturday.
With Dan Abramson, Abramson was part of that?
Yeah, and he wrote it.
And Stephen Gallagher was that?
Stephen directed it. Stephen wasn't involved in this one. No, okay. Richard Azunian directed it. Anyway,
cool.
it was superheroes.
It was a superhero themed
show and
Zoom musical.
Yes, and they did the entire show. Some of the elements, but they managed to bring these incredible young people together. You know, the project was initiated before COVID, and they still manifested it in an incredible presentation and super exciting.
I saw a very funny a meme, I guess, a picture of like the rows of all the Muppets at the end of Muppet Show singing "This is what like all the boxes and windows," and they're like, I finally realized what Zoom parties and Zoom classes remind me of. And I looked at some images from the show, and it was very much, you know, like we don't have, but like we have someone's hand controlling us and making us do things, and we're like the taxi drivers in Total Recall, you know. Anyway,
the show was called Super School.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway,
congratulations to them. They
put
on some amazing stuff at Fringe. Was it Fringe last year? They had an incredible show.
Yeah, super exciting for Super School.
Yeah. And speaking of super, don't we have a superlative guest coming in?
We do have a superstar. How many S's in superstar? Several. I met this gorgeous young lady in the Toronto Fringe Festival, where we both participated in a really interesting sort of like post-apocalyptic musical called Everything There Is to Know, which is written by a very talented musical writer named Aaron Jensen. Aaron actually was one of the principal composers for Schitt's Creek. And if for those who tuned in and saw that amazing series, the part of the series where they did Cabaret, He was the music director for it. And anyway, he's a fabulous guy. But I met this wonderful talent, and we became fast friends. And she's a rock star. She is an incredible human being. She worked with us, Toronto Musical Concert. She played some fabulous roles in the production that we did of Parade in
She
concert.
played my wife. We were the pivotal role. I've decided that every nothing role is going to be from now on the pivotal role. And it just makes me feel important, just personally, that I played so many pivotal roles. The pivotal role of Roy and Helen, random. Like, it's just so random that they actually have names in a scene. But we took it very seriously. We decided to call the show Roy and Helen on, in brackets, and then the show was Parade. So,
well, we are thrilled to kick off our 11th week with this beautiful, vivacious talent, Quinn Dooley, and so many things to talk about, so much music to share. Please welcome to the stream the fabulous Miss Quinn Dooley.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my love. How are you, Quinn?
I'm good. I'm keeping up in quarantine. It's a new world.
Yep.
That's happening.
Give me a sec. I'm gonna move you to the bottom of the stream. And
now you're in the middle.
Hair in my mouth.
Yeah, now you're center stage.
Well, a minute ago, I mean, Ryan alluded to the fact things he was doing. He had recently redecorated, did some beautiful painting. And before we invited our viewers onto the stream, we were commenting on the loveliness of the blue cobalt that's behind you.
I love that color.
So tell us, has this been part of your self-quarantine, socially distancing activities in your apartment?
This wall wasn't. This wall is old. It's from the fall, but every other surface in the apartment has been painted.
Yeah.
We took I was just saying before, we took the like ugly apartment white because I obviously live in a like rent controlled old Toronto apartment.
Yep.
And that like really dingy cream, and we painted it all flat white, and it is magical.
It must feel so fresh in there. You know,
First 4 days we were like, it's a different apartment. So yeah, that took like a week, and then we ordered from IKEA, somehow got it, because I know there's been a lot of drama with like people not getting
deliveries and stuff. Yeah.
We got it, and the people even like helped bring it up to our apartment, which is what they were allowed to do, but they did. So we built some IKEA furniture. We decked out the balcony. So I'm prepared for the summer.
Good.
Beautiful. So are you hauled up, as it were? In what city are you currently located?
I'm currently located in Toronto. Okay. I'm not going to tell people where I live.
You're not
It's funny because whenever somebody says Toronto, I'm always like, oh, they're here? Like, oh, and I want to go out to the balcony and like wave. I'm like, I'm here too.
No, you don't have to disclose your address. No. For anyone that might be creeping you, who is a secret stalker fan. But with you keep saying we, so with whom have you been socially isolating?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm socially.
Me and myself and I.
Myself and I are socially isolating with my lovely boyfriend, Chris Fulton, who is playing Nintendo Switch in my bedroom.
Oh, how fun. That's amazing. That sounds really great. Is it crowded with the four of you in there then?
It's crowded with me.
Myself and
It's a very little space. He sleeps on the couch.
Oh. It's closest to the Nintendo Switch usually. So, you know, like whatever. The least movement. That's what I'm trying to commit to at this point. The least movement possible. I feel fortunate that I can reach everything from one space in the middle of the room sometimes.
Yeah.
So Quinn, obviously, as is the case with like 100, I'd say basically 100% of our artistic community that was, you know, doing the gig thing. Obviously, all of our plans for the season and for the summer and potentially for the rest of the calendar year have been challenged. But rather than go to the place of, let's talk about some of the exciting things you were going to do and maybe potentially be doing in just a year's time. And where were you headed this summer?
Yeah, what was the plan and what got thwarted?
Slash, what were you working on, which is going to be seen later. Look, I see how I frame that?
Yeah.
So I was going to make, not my Charlottetown Festival debut. I did do Evangeline there, but I was going to be making my Anne of Green Gables Charlottetown Festival debut.
Ryan's going to turn green again. He's going to be auditioning with Alphaba. He's going to be so green with envy.
And I was going to be playing Diana Barry.
You booked it? You? I worked so hard on that raspberry cordial scene, and you got it.
We're going to have to bring Adam Brazier back on the stream and have words with him.
I'm so pleased to hear it. You're going to be a beautiful Diana.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I really, really hope that 2021 has big things.
Yep, absolutely.
Sure.
And as is often the case, and as is often the case at the festival, you're cross-cast in other works. So what else were you going to be doing in the season?
So I was going to be doing a new Charlottetown's new musical by the wonderful Mike Ross and Lindsay Kite.
Who's joining us tomorrow, Mr. Mike Ross.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was called Dear Rita, and it was all of Rita McNeil's music.
I see.
But and all these very, very incredible arrangements, like new arrangements of these old songs. Yeah, we actually did a workshop in Toronto in February, so we got a chance to read the script and workshop it and learn the music, and it is an actor-musician show. So and we're aware, based on some of the fabulous videos you've created for Garner Productions.
Oh, DGP, yeah,
yes,
that's right.
Yes, for Garner Theatre Productions, that you were doing sort of like a how-to violon.
I was.
But
really something to have to.
But what other? So Mike Ross, was Mike going to be in the show with you guys?
Mike was going to be in the show. We had an amazing cast.
Brendan involved? Wall?
Brendan Wall was not involved. Alana Bridgewater.
Amazing
group.
Sheldon Elter, who is an Edmonton actor as well.
Oh, I love my Sheldon. Yes, I got to work with
I love my shelving too, but you can't see.
No, Sheldon. I got to work with Sheldon in Crazy for You.
Oh, Sheldon.
Sheldon Elder, When I Met Your Mummy. Oh no. Yeah. Wait. Did I do the Fringe before I did Crazy for You, or did I do Crazy for You before the Fringe?
No, you did Fringe first.
I think you did Crazy for You first.
I think I did Crazy for You first, and I think it was.
It's opposite day. I think
it was that summer. It was that summer I did. That's right. That's right. It was 2017, because I had already known your mom by then. That's right.
Yeah.
And then I saw Sheldon do an incredible show. What was it called? The Bears at Factory Theater. An incredible Aboriginal piece. Gorgeous. Yeah. So an amazing group of artists, and you guys, and again, new work, Canadian content, love it.
Yeah, and it was just, I was so excited. I'm so excited. I really hope that things work out accordingly. I'm putting that out into the universe.
Well, I mean, Adam's been on our show as a guest, but I think he's come to visit at least 3 or 4 times. And what I've gleaned from the conversations we had, I think he has every intention of just, as many companies do, putting the programming off 1 year. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, he was so excited because this was the first season in a long time that the Charlottetown Festival was doing 100% Canadian content across the boards. Like they were doing Drowsy Chaperone, for example. So it was a really exciting season to be a part of. So we'll just have to tune in for 2021. I have no idea why I've got this faux feigned.
Quite frankly, there's times in life where I go, we could afford to do things every other year instead of every year. Christmas sneaks up to the holidays sneak up on us sometimes, and I go, we could have just maybe hopped, skipped, and jumped, did a little holiday leap year or something like that. And if that's the way it's going to work for our industry, then that's the way it's going to be. It's not going to stop us from being the artists that we are in any way. And that's what's been so exciting to have people like you on tonight, actually, because I know I'm going to see you do things that I've never seen you do before. And because, all we did is move stands together and sit next to each other and cause trouble in rehearsals. So
truly.
It's always me.
But it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I have to, you were talking about, you've been sharing, you and Chris, Mr. Fulton, have been sharing the beautiful goings on every now and then on the social media. So you have decked out that patio on your balcony quite beautifully.
We have.
Was that part of the IKEA delivery?
That was part of the IKEA delivery. I'm a person, I don't ever go into anything without planning for like a month. So
Okay.
I was like planning this whole balcony thing from like the second it dropped that I wasn't going to be on a summer.
Do you have the maquette? Do you have the maquette to show us?
I had to collapse it. It was a little large, so. But it involved me being like, I don't know if it's gonna fit. So for context, I wish I could spin my computer. For context, my balcony is like this much across, but like 18 feet long.
That's like mine.
Yeah, it's super. The depth is.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
We got to figure out after this. We might be neighbors.
I'm in Forest Hill.
No, but we could probably yell to each other if I was on the other side of the building.
Or you guys could swap, if it's appropriate. Maybe you could get the IKEA guys to if you want to swap furniture.
Oh, yeah, that's what we,
Furniture swap, yeah.
I do love a good cover. Like you said, I do love a good old rent control, old school Toronto concrete apartment building, though. There's something very old school and comforting.
Yeah. It's bigger than any condo you're ever going to get.
Yeah,
it's true.
Like, I'm like, what? 750 square feet? Come at me.
Yeah.
And you're never moving.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Wow, Ryan, you just got possessed by Trekkie Monster.
Hey, there's all sorts of sounds coming out of me lately in here with when I'm not concerned about how I sound. I mean, out of my mouth. No, that.
That very briefly, before we entice the wonderful Quinn Dooley maybe to share some music with us, that reminds me of my COVID connection yesterday. I was busy. As I said, I was feeling a little under the weather, so I was working hard at the computer today. But yesterday, I went on a beautiful bike ride with my friend and ran into fabulous actor and playwright Jonathan Wilson, who is also a very, very accomplished voiceover artist. So we were just talking about life, and I think he was really excited because there's been very, as we discussed. Very little face-to-face contact with people during this time, but I was just tracking all of the voices that came into the conversation during his dialogue. I was like, wow, you really are good at voice. I was like, that was a voiceover audition, just talking to this fabulous actor on a boardwalk. It was great.
Well, this is basically like pull out your Dick Van Dyke one-man band, Quinn Dooley, and make some magic happen tonight. That's what I'm imagining is going to happen tonight. So why don't we get rolling on it? 5, 6, 7, 8. Da, 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 da. Yeah, do it.
Make the chorus line.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will remind you, if there is anyone tuning in this evening that's in a position to support the Actors Fund of Canada, just click on that site, afchelps.ca. Click on Donate Now. A penny for Quinn's beautiful musical offerings, and we will happily welcome your support of this incredible organization during the stream. Quinn, what did you think about sharing with your beautiful viewing, doting audience this evening?
I'm down to share. I'm gonna play everything on the guitar.
Yay!
Okay, can we talk about that instrument? You look like
it's beautiful.
It's like an Elvis reboot. That's a sexy guitar. Does it have a name?
Okay. Yes.
Of course it does. Every good instrument should have a name. What's your instrument's name?
My instrument's name is June. And it's named after June Carter because I could have never, had the confidence to play guitar as much as I do now. I did Ring of Fire all summer.
I'm like, how many times have you done Ring of Fire?
I've done it twice.
And you saved the day. Didn't the second production of Ring of Fire, you jetted in to the Thousand Islands Playhouse?
Yeah, the second production, basically, I was wrapping the first production where... For context, different style show. There was 5 of us in the Citadel's production, 4 men, 1 woman, 1 drummer. because drummers aren't people, apparently.
Four men, one woman, and a drummer.
In a fully separate vehicle, plexiglass box, just
ready to go. And then, so 2 days before we closed, and I was like ready. Like I was like, I've had enough Johnny Cash to last me a while. And then I got a call being like, hey,
hi, Quinn. It's Jen and Aquay calling. Would you please come to the Thousand Islands Playhouse and bail our butts out?
Yeah, they had someone had to leave, and so I went in about 2 weeks late.
What? You're another musical superhero.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Christy Adamson did the same thing for Mamma Mia. Adam Brazier did the same thing for Evangeline. Yeah. George Masvidal did the same thing
that's
for
right.
Sweeney Todd. You were in that, weren't you?
The Evangeline.
Yeah. And you've done it now. You're incredible. You people are amazing.
It was bonkers. I can't even lie to you. I cried for 2 weeks. Like every rehearsal, I like went in there and I was like, yeah, it's okay. But like I was living my nightmare because I was like, I am standing here with a violin in my hands. I don't know what I'm singing. I don't know what I'm playing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what song comes next. Because all of them are in different order and different keys than the song, than the show that I just did prior to. I remember like talking to my mom on the phone being like, I can't get the information from the first Ring of Fire out of my brain fast enough to input the information.
Input the new, yeah.
But it happened.
You were that person in the cast. Well, when we did it, like last time, we
always made that joke when we did once because everyone who does once more than once.
More than once.
That's a great quote. Everyone who does once
more than once.
Very good.
And there was always like a saying where to be like, well, when we did it at Mirvish, or when we did it on Broadway, or when we did it in Seoul, South Korea, or when we did it in Dublin. And we'd be like, yeah.
All right, listen, I want to hear you when you did it in your own apartment during COVID-19 2020 isolation.
With June Carter.
Yes.
So my guitar's name is June. Song I'm going to be doing today is a little ditty from a lovely show that is not Ring of Fire. It is Katie's Town.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, and the song is called All I've Ever Known.
Love it.
Have a wonderful sing.
Thank you. I was alone, so alone. Didn't even know that I was lonely. Out in the cold, so long. Didn't even know that I was cold. Turn my collar to the wind. This is always how it's been. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. Now I'm gonna hold you too. You take me in your arms, and suddenly there's sunlight all around me. Everything bright and warm, shining like it never did before. For a moment I forget just how dark and cold it gets. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. And now I'm gonna hold you. Now I'm gonna hold you close. I don't wanna ever have to let you go. Now I'm gonna hold you tight. I don't wanna go back to the lonely life. Say that you'll love me forever. Say that the wind won't change on us. Say that we'll stay with each other. And it'll always be like this. I wanna hold you forever. The winds won't ever change on us. As long as we stay with each other, then it'll always be like this.
Oh man, I could listen to that song over and over again all night. Quinn, that's beautiful.
Ooh, mellow and lovely.
You played so beautifully.
Thank you.
How long have you played guitar for?
Okay, for not long, seriously. Like, since I got cast in Ring of Fire,
yeah,
I knew that I had to play, like, well, 8 shows a week. Like, thanks, that's my sister.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Hi, Bevan.
I knew that I had to play, like, really well 8 times a week. I've always dabbled. I've always had it, like, been able to play a couple songs in my back pocket.
Right.
Just for auditions and stuff, because it's kind of hard to play and sing at the same time for auditions.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard, period. Like, it's yeah. Oh, but I forgot you also, I forgot you also do this, right? You're this instrument. So string instruments, did you grow up playing violin as well or anything? Yeah. Or is that just from Ring of Fire as well? Has Ring of Fire was that the beginning of your life, basically, as a musician?
You can ask my mom, was born, and then I was like, Daddy sang bass, Mama sang. No. But I have been playing the violin since I was 3.5 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
I marched into my parents' room and I sat down on the bed, and I don't even know if I actually knew what I was asking, but I looked at my mom and I was like, I want to play the violin. She was like, no one in my family plays an instrument. We're all very artistic. You'll probably hear about that later. But no one plays an instrument. And so she was like, okay. And took me to Alberta College for Music. Mm-hmm. And I have a violin teacher who's the only violin teacher I've ever had. Her name is Marie Forestier. And she taught me everything I know on the violin. And it's all I wanted to do. I took lessons twice a week. I took orchestra. I was in a quartet. I was in a quintet. It was like constant violin all the time. And
did I hear you right that you were up, it was in the prairies? You were in,
yeah.
So is that, you grew up in?
Edmonton.
Oh, in Edmonton.
So I grew up in Edmonton. My parents are from Montreal. I was born in Montreal originally.
Okay.
We moved to Edmonton because my dad got a movie contract. And
okay, so oh my gosh, like it's just like a treasure trove of like.
Can I go backwards in time? So you played a beautiful song from Hadestown, and Hadestown had an out of town off Broadway tryout as part of the Citadel Theater, where your wonderful mother Penny Rizzo was what was her official title for many years?
She is Penny Ritko, executive director of the Citadel Theater.
Yes. She's not currently exactly. But actually, I believe during her, I got to work with her when I was doing Crazy for You.
Or and Ryan, she obviously been there, during Avenue Q. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you were too.
That's right. So so now that we know that your mother was involved and also went on to sort of, be involved in producerial things with the continued journey of Hadestown.
She was there when they won the Tony. It's nuts. It's
so cool. It's so great.
That's really cool.
So now let's unpack the treasure chest.
Okay, so there's
we've met your wonderful sister Bevan. Hi, Bevan.
Who is a brilliant playwright and writer. She got her master's. This is my family. They're ridiculous. My sister got a master's from Trinity College Dublin in She got her master's in playwriting from the same school that Samuel Beckett went to.
You know.
Nuts. Yeah, she's brilliant. My mom and dad have been working in the theater and in film and TV for, I don't know, I'm not going to age them, 40, 50 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
And my dad is an actor. He's a director. He's a dramaturg. He was the artistic director of an Alberta Francophone theater in Edmonton. He is bilingual. He's from Quebec. And that's my aunt saying hi to me.
Oh, hi, Aunt Patricia.
And but my parents met going to, and actually met my aunt as well, who's not my aunt, going to National Theatre School. My dad was an actor. My mom was in production. And yeah, and then we were born, and then we moved from Montreal to Edmonton, and I was raised in Edmonton. But
so you said your parents met at NTS?
They did, yeah.
Wow, this was a whole family that was birthed out of theater.
That's so cool.
I always joke that I was like, if we were wizards, like we are pure blood.
Oh yeah, I like you.
Yeah. So
no mudblood in that. No. You're full magic born. You've got it in your veins.
Like, I remember, okay.
They put your hair in magic wands. That's what they do, Quinn.
And in the bows of fiddle.
My first show, for context, that I ever saw, I was like 5 or 6. It was King Lear, and my dad played Gloucester, and he got his eyes plucked out on stage, and I was like,
and you're like, I want to play the violin.
And then after that, I made like a point with my mom, because after that he did another show where he got stabbed at the end, and I made a point with my mom being like, does dad die in this one?
In everyone?
Yes or no. And then he did To Kill a Mockingbird. My mom was like, okay, there is a death in this one, but it isn't dad, and it doesn't happen on stage. I'm ready.
You're like, I'm ready. I can manage this one.
Like hefty shows at like a very young. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like by age 7, you were ready to understudy Mackers.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like I loved being part of a theater family. I continue to love being part of a theater family. My parents are semi-retired now. They're back in Montreal.
Yes, and their beautiful property in Old Montreal. Yes.
Oh, lovely.
I've seen gorgeous views of the inside of that stunning space as well.
I was making a point. I filmed a self-tape, my self-tape for Charlottetown, actually. Their exposed brick back wall.
Beautiful.
My mom and I said, all I want is for someone to comment on that exposed brick. And I think I saw Facebook. Yeah. She was like, love the exposed brick. And I was like, MF, thank you.
Very fresh. That's great.
I'm just practicing the Tumblr scene right now, just in case you can't do it next summer.
And speaking of, lineages, I mean, your lovely partner, if I may say, is Christopher Fulton, who is that the bellow? You're like, get off, you're off the game.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
I have a problem. I have an addiction.
He has an addiction.
Hey!
Hi, Christopher. But we were just sharing, Quinn was talking about her family, and this lovely gentleman who I enjoyed in a lovely turn of the Panto this past holiday season with Rob Torr and Stephanie Graham, is a wonderful performer in his own right, and also the offspring of theater royalty. He is the offspring of Barbara Fulton, who I remember seeing as Grisabella in that fabulous...
I remember her headshot in the program.
Chris wasn't even born then, but I mean, Barbara, and of course, Barbara's currently in the company of Come From Away right now. So I have a quick question for the two of you, and then you can get back to your Nintendo Switch.
What are you playing? What game are you playing, by the way?
Well,
talk about it. Say it.
So I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing.
No,
is that like Frogger?
You're as cool as the dab, Chris Fulton.
Is that like Frogger? Sounds like Frogger.
It's like you garden and you run around with your little shovel and you dig up fossils and you take them to the museum, and you get possessed by the owl who works at the museum.
And the owl talks way too much. His name is Blathers.
People like it though. It's huge right now, isn't it?
It's so fun.
So calming though. Like nothing can hurt you in that game. Nothing can hurt you.
I'm so sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I love that. Hey, I mean, it sounds like a very peaceful video game.
It's very
At least it's not like animals not crossing, like, and then it's like danger for like it's not like Frogger. Like that would be a high stakes thing. At least it's like Animal Crossing. You're safe. Like that's what it sounds like.
It does. It does. And I was thinking, you two lovelies are far too young. But when Ryan and I were kids, there was this video game called Frogger, where a frog had to get across a busy highway, and of course, like it was dodging cars, and of course, you know how that worked out. So it's called,
and it was full 8-bit too. So it's like blip, 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 blip.
Benjamin Comet Dooley. Want to play Mario Kart?
Oh, I love Mario Kart.
Go, Benjamin, go!
I beat him so badly the other day, though.
Oh, Ben, you better like get your Mario Kart score up and tell us about it when you're guesting with us this Thursday. I'm gonna want to report, see if Chris Fulton has whipped your butt between now and then. So my question to two of you. I mean, I know both of your respective families, and they're beautiful people, and so I don't imagine that this would have come from them. But just curious, as both the offspring of very accomplished artistic families, did you ever?
It's always like, what weird concoction are you going to make together? Like that's sort of how it felt. Like it's like
they're gonna make a nuclear physicist if they
xenomorph sort of creation.
Yeah. But what I meant to ask is that, did you guys ever feel within your own self as young performers that was there ever a pressure to sort of like live up to a standard that you might have had of your parents, or were you just kind of living your own thing?
I feel like, if anything, like I sometimes get caught in getting a little nervous that people will expect either more of me, or they don't actually care. That they're just kind of like, whoa, it's Penny and Brian's kid. And so, and then I become Penny and Brian's kid rather than Quinn.
Yeah, totally.
A tricky like line to walk, especially when I went to university, especially like just getting out of university. That I like, and it's not that I don't want to be associated. Like my family's dope. I always want to be associated with my family.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Totally want to be your own.
They're not the Donnellys. I mean, they're the Dooleys, right?
Quinn and Chris, Truth O'Clock. I have a feeling that after COVID is done, people are going to forget my real name, and I'm just going to have any random person on the streets of Toronto saying, "Hey, big girl."
They're going to call. They're going to be like, "Hey, friends." I'll be like,
I'll be, "Hey, big girl, I'm friends."
You don't
Oh my God, that reminds me of oh my God, what was that? Oh my God, it's that really ridiculous film about drag queens with Nia Vardalos and the one who did my
about the two ladies who
Connie and Carla.
And
there's two drag queens, and one has this cute little Filipino, and they're called they're a duo, and one is Peaches and Cream, and he says, "What's in cream?" It's like Big Girl in France. So that was a long story with a bad short punchline.
Anyway, Chris, have you ever lived up to the standard of first cast Grisabella in Toronto?
And well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
Well,
I guess to answer your previous question, it's never something I've really thought about.
Which is great.
Never. I guess the one thing that it might do is that I'm never like I don't think I'm ever an underdog. I don't think I'm ever somebody that comes from somewhere that is not theater related. Like you know what I mean. My mom worked at Stratford for a very long time, and people know who she is, and so when I mention her name, I think there's a certain expectation there. But it's never something that's really bothered me or even affected me. I've never thought about it, having grown up with it.
Yeah.
And it's great for making connections too. I can just
I think we both networking because we can be like, hey, you know my parents, and then
Dooley
and continues. But you sometimes, I guess we don't want to like rest on that.
No, of course. You got to. You got
no, but the relationships are like relationships are part of the community. So Dooley is spelled the way I would think in Fulton. So if I'm going to change my last name to Dooley or Fulton at this point, simply for, because both or I was thinking maybe I'm going with Cronenberg. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know which will get me noticed more if I change my last name in the city. Maybe McKellar. I could be Don's kid, maybe.
Listen,
Brazier. I'm going to change my last name to Brazier.
We got to get this beauty to sing. I want to briefly, your beautiful mother, Penny, just graciously donated $200 to the Actors Fund.
Thank you, Penny.
Thank you, Christopher and Ryan, and all those weeks of work and support for our fellow artists. Thank you for supporting your community, Penny. Thank you. Which means that you got to sing, Quinn.
I got to sing for your supper.
Thanks, Chris.
Good to see you, Chris. Good luck with your animals.
Thank you. They need to talk to me.
And you gotta whoop Benjamin Kamansuli on that Mario Kart again.
Oh, he's going down. He's going down.
Oh my goodness. And we have another $500 donation from Donald Rice. Listening to Big Girl and Friends, Quinn Dooley, and hoping to support the efforts for
Thank you, Donald.
Thank you so much.
That's very kind. That's a very good family.
$700 in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But wow.
So what are you gonna sing now?
I'm going off menu. I emailed Chris Wilson before this happened. And I was like,
That's Big Girl. It's Big Girl.
I emailed Big Girl before this happened, and I was like, do I have to sing from music theater repertoire? And he was like, no, just sing whatever you want.
No.
So I'm not. For the next 2 songs, I'm not singing from music theater repertoire. You relax. And I am singing a song by a Canadian artist named JP Sachs. If you've heard of him at all, he is newer, but he just had his first song go platinum in the United States. And I think that a lot of people know it. I think a lot of people have heard it. It's been out and about right now. It's pretty topical for the time. But it is called If the World Was Ending. So here we go.
Okay, thank you.
I was distracted and traffic. Didn't feel it when the earthquake happened, but it really got me thinking. Were you out drinking? Were you in the living room chilling, watching television? It's been a year now. Think I figured out how to let you go and let communication die out. And I know we know you aren't down for forever, and it's fine. And I know we weren't meant for each other, and it's fine. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Sky be falling while I'd hold you tight. No, there wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? I try to imagine your reaction. Didn't scare me when the earthquake happened, but it really got me thinking. The night we went drinking, stumbled in the house and didn't make it past the kitchen. Oh, it's been a year now. Think I figured out how to let you go without it ripping my heart out. And I know we know you weren't down for forever, and it's fine. And I know we know we weren't meant for each other, and it's fine. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you'd come over right. Sky be falling while I'd hold you tight. Now there wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you'd come over right. You'd come over, you'd come over, you'd come over right. And I know, you know, we know we weren't down for forever, and it's fine. And I know, you know, we know we weren't meant for each other, and it's fine.
I just want to sit on a balcony with you and a guitar and just sit back and listen to you sing.
Yeah, light candles, just gorgeous acoustic.
Yeah.
I was like,
we know you can belt to high heaven, and it's just so nice to have you sit back in the pocket and just
unplugged, baby. That's you sound so good.
Yeah, it's beautiful, Quinn.
Is that another, like, do you think about recording? Have you recorded before? Do you think about doing more contemporary music or more what is it, like commercial music more than music ever?
Yeah.
Questions.
I more than anything right now, I think that I'm like halfway on the fence between having the confidence to like record my own songs, and I write my own music, but I'm mortified to share it.
Of course you're mortified to share it. It's terrifying.
Terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. But I'm like building up slowly, getting the confidence to like sit down and like go to a studio and find a producer who I really work with and try to have an EP, because I have enough songs at this point to be like, I can.
Mark Camilleri, he good.
Yes.
Among many options. Yeah.
I just know that, like, because you've got an incredibly powerful instrument, you've got an incredibly powerful sound that you create when you're working in music theater, but you've also got a huge amount of diversity and variety in your voice and what you can produce. And what you gave us tonight is such this it's like sunset candles on the balcony, just chilling, cozied up with a blanket on your lap. Yeah, and it's beautiful, and really you sound so easy and comfortable in that space. So
it's very comfy. I was saying, I've said this a lot, that I feel very, very comfortable and very at home having an instrument in my hands. And I'm assuming that comes from,
I mean, better that than getting your eyes taken out on stage every night. Like that
is not by any means saying that I don't adore theater. Like, I love
of course. No.
So many dream roles that I'm like, I gotta do them. But it's definitely just like, as an artist, being able to like open up as many doors as I can myself. And like, I love playing violin for people. It's great. I love playing as like backup for people. I do that all the time, and it's nice to just like sit back and not have to sing and not have to act and just get to like jam with the band. Love it.
But Quinn, I guess what Ryan and I want to impart to you is that, in addition to having the privilege of hearing you sing and work with you in the musical theater idiom, you have such a beautiful facility to sing this other repertoire.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope with all of this unexpected extra time and this fabulous new balcony furniture,
no pressure, record a CD.
No, but I hope that you'll spend some time writing and exploring that side of you, because I mean, you've got a fabulous audience member and your beautiful partner there. I'm sure he'd love to hear everything that you offer. And
he is the only one who ever heard a song of mine. I will say that. So yeah.
I'm continually impressed with people who I know who can create beautiful sounds and feelings and this and that from their bodies, but when they can also do it with instruments, like it's like a whole other syllable, emphasis on the syllable, just to make it special. But you seem very, like, obviously at 3, you're like, I want to play violin. You do seem at home creating or being a conduit for another way of making music. Is that like, because I know that you're working with Donna, was it Donna Garner's Garner Theater Production? Is that what it's called?
PP, Garner Theater Productions.
Right.
Canada.
Tell us a little bit about what that experience has been like, even though it's been brief at this point, because I think it's only the first year that you've really been rolling.
Yeah.
With that.
We had our first launch concert back in February. On February 3rd, we did a massive show full of there's tons of actor musicians in the show. Yeah. We did it at Hughes Room, and great space also.
Yeah.
And it was just a whole bunch of songs that can be done actor musician based, a whole bunch of shows that are already actor musician shows, then also shows that Donna and everyone in the company is working to make actor musician shows.
To adapt. Yeah.
Their production or their workshop of A Man of No Importance. I wasn't a part of it, but I've had the pleasure of hearing.
Yeah. And that's where I had the privilege of meeting the Mario Kart nemesis, the fabulous Benjamin Kamatuli, who sang, my God, he won my heart and he was actually, of course, Benjamin was just working with us in the role of Arnaud on the House of Martin Guerre. So very exciting.
I'm once blows my mind. And then recently I was watching the Raul Esparza version of Company, where they're all playing their instruments, and then the Sweeney Todd chamber version where they have instruments on stage. It is
Cabaret was the first big one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And even the redo of Cabaret at the Grand this year even brought more instrumentation onto the stage too.
Yeah.
I'm just so impressed, Quinn. I just think you're one of those magicians. Oh gosh, you're right. Brings us back full circle. Can I have one of your hairs for my magic wand? Because you truly are magical.
He's going to harvest it on his.
No, I'm just going to use it like a unicorn hair so that I can Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh, so good.
Anyhow.
Yeah, actor musicians are a special little breed. Mostly because I think a lot of us played an instrument first. Like we've always played, and so getting to do that and show, and sometimes you're playing characters like when Ring of Fire 2.0 was not as character driven as Ring of Fire 1.0. Like Ring of Fire 1.0, I played June Carter,
right,
and Johnny Cash's mom at one point.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, but in Ring of Fire 2.0, we got to show more of ourselves and kind of do like our own takes and stuff like that. So it's always cool to get to see actor musicians do things, because either they're playing like a very specific character, or you're feeling it and you're in the music. And I don't know, I'm rambling about it because I love it so much.
I'm obsessed with the experience.
It's part, and that's part of your artistic fabric, which is so cool. It's not, you are a singer, dancer, and actor, and a very gifted musician.
Accomplished musician.
Yeah, and we're so grateful that we got to benefit from all that tonight. Oh my God, where did an hour go?
Oh, you're amazing, Quinn Dooley. I'm still gunning for Diana though. Like I'm just, now that I know who I'm up against, for real. Listen, Helen. Wait till we get home, Helen. It's a firm talking to on the porch. I might be sleeping on the couch tonight, Helen, but regardless.
It's going down.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
we are joined by a wonderful artist that we talked about tonight, the fabulous Slate Slate Family Music Director of the Soul Pepper Theater Company, the wonderfully talented, really innovative, extraordinary Mr. Mike Ross. Super excited to have him.
Another magician in our industry.
And if you want to reference anything about the show, you can give us a little hashtag Big Girl and Friends. Quinn, I couldn't think of a more vivacious, beautiful soul to kick off our 11th week than your beautiful. Oh, and another donation.
Bam!
From Patricia Phillips for $100.
Thank you, Patricia.
Quinn Dooley.
Thank you. Yes.
Did you have fun?
I had so much fun.
I'm so glad.
was honestly so nervous. I was saying to big girl, not there's two.
It's fine. I'm teasing. Colton, big girl. It's good.
It's easier. Just
about it because it's crazy, and I was like, it's such a different thing than I usually do. Like most of the time, I would slap on a track and belt, and
I love it.
Very comforting to go back to what you're comfortable doing. And but I'm really, really glad I did this.
And if I may, the other beautiful mother and super stalwart talent, Miss Barbara Fulton, and her lovely husband donated $200. Amazing night, everyone. Beautiful song, Quinn. Thanks for all your work for the AFC, guys.
Wow. I'm starstruck about this whole.
We have now that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was $1,000 that your show got tonight. And we have now reached $28,000.
Yeah.
Guys, $29,000. $29,200. We are $800 away from $30,000.
We didn't set a goal, but boy, it feels nice to know that there's momentum, and still the momentum is still there.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for your donations.
Yeah. Barbara, I just want to say, Barbara, honest to God, you have been like seriously, when I saw you in Cats when I was a youngster,
12 years old.
So grateful to Patricia, so grateful to Donald and Penny. You are a stalwart of arts administration. Thank you for your beautiful parenting this gorgeous little soul, and for contributing so immensely to the Canadian performing arts landscape. And Dad for losing an eye in a fabulous production that traumatized.
Apparently. So.
Yeah, Barbara. My dear, will you sing us out on this first show of our 11th week? What are you going to share with us, my love, before we wrap it up?
I do need to do a little tunage on my guitar, and I'm also going to call my sound man, Chris.
Pause the game.
Pause the game. I do need to do a little tune. For people who know me really well, I have the sweatiest hands in existence. Earlier, I was like, I'm happy to never shake hands with anyone.
It's okay. I've got a full Kelly Hall of thing. I have like a full-on fan here, as you can see, because I sweat.
Her hair is literally an 80s movie.
Yeah, 80s but I don't have the hair for that. But this keeps me from schwitzing during the show because I glisten during the show.
Meanwhile, I'm wrapped in a blanket wearing a sweater.
So yeah, my hands will put my guitar out of tune.
Really?
Yeah, because it's. I just practiced tuning and talking at the same time. I just practiced this.
Honey, it's fine. We'll stall for you.
Benjamin.
I love it. Sweet hands, sweaty hands. Really. Let's get that on a T-shirt, Benjamin. Nice.
Anecdote for Benjamin Camanzuli is Benjamin Camanzuli and he was in Ring of Fire 2.0, and he was my rock. He was like the only person who was like, oh, I think that's a lie. The entire cast was amazing.
Fair.
But he was the first person to come and be like, do you want to go for ice cream? And I was like, I don't want to go for ice cream. He was like, I think we should go for ice cream. And then he told me that if I didn't get a run right, that I should just go home now. So, but we had to do this battle in the middle of the show where he did all these crazy, crazy guitar solos because he's also an amazing actor musician.
Yeah.
I had to play these violin solos, and we got to do it across from each other. And he said that he would watch the like sweat build up on my fingerboard and like drip down the side of my hand, and he will never let me live that down.
The devil would.
Quinn, that's hot.
Georgia made your arms sweaty.
Yeah. Do we think we're good?
I think we're good.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Final song. So this song is by an amazing UK artist named Tom Misch. I don't know if anyone has heard of him. He's a jazz artist, new school jazz.
Sort of. I'm sorry. He's ish.
Yeah. New school jazz. He's amazing. The song is originally by someone else. Mom, please comment who the song was by. But he does an amazing cover of it, and there may or may not be a little violin interlude at the end.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So here we go. Let's
take it away, Quinn.
Thank you. This is Man Like You. I knew a boy who was swallowed by the sky, by the flashing light. I knew a man who got lost in the deep dark blue, who came out alive. I knew a boy, I knew a man that looked a lot like you. I knew a time when you could stand still beside me, never rushing by. I knew a place where you'd go for your head to explode into peace of mind. I knew a boy, I knew a man that looked a lot like you. I knew a time, I knew a place that felt a lot like you.
Oh, Quinn. Brava, brava. That, Quinn, that lover of Sweaty Hands Dooley, Benjamin Kamatsuli. Oh my God, I made a rhyme. The lover of Sweaty Hands Dooley, Benjamin Kamatsuli.
There's a limerick in there, I think.
Graciously donated $50 to conclude our.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you.
Quinn, you're incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was
awesome.
Amazing.
That was beautiful soul food. My heart is I wasn't feeling so good not emotionally. I was feeling a little bit under the weather, and I'm feeling a little bit better now. So thank you for that.
What an uplifting night. Thank you so much for
being
here
Thank you
tonight,
for
Quinn.
all of our gorgeous viewers. Hello, Shauna. And thank you, Ben. That was really cool. You're right, Boo.
Yeah, it was.
Quinn, seeing your face virtually is not as fun as seeing your face in the flesh, but thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your beautiful gifts, your spirit, for opening up our week with such a beautiful breath of fresh air.
Thank
you. Keep writing, girl. Keep writing.
Thank you. I have to take one moment at the end of this. I know that we've all seen it a lot right now, but I think that I'd feel really, really wrong if I didn't take a moment right now to talk about what's going on in the States and in Canada. And I'm really bad at talking about it off the cuff, so I'm literally going to read off of my phone. But we're dealing with some stuff right now that is really, really, really hard and really, really awful. And we need to work to fix this. I love you, AJ Bridell. We need to work to fix this because we just can't keep going on this way, and the racism that is happening in our country is an equally serious pandemic as what is going on with COVID. And I, as a person who am privileged to be in the skin color that I am in, I feel like I need to stand up and speak up, and that we have to be actively anti-racist. And I've definitely been struggling to find the right words. It's very hard, and I'm doing my best to read and to educate myself. And I know that so many actors and so many theater companies are continuing to do the same thing. And I just wanted to read something that Hadestown wrote, actually, a very diverse company. And basically they said, we are raising our voices in support of change to fundamentally alter the systems that have led to the hate, division, and intolerance that we are witnessing today. And I just hope that we can continue in the right direction. Yeah.
Thank you, Quinn.
Yeah, thank you, Quinn.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Eloquently and perfectly put. It actually, and you saying it actually was the right thing for the show as well. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate not only the vulnerability it took to step up and say that, but to also appreciate it as well, because I think you're speaking for Chris and I as well, and that we stand with our friends and loves of color as well. So thank you so much for making it an important part of tonight.
Thank you for letting me say that. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Quinn, we wish you and Mr. Christopher Fulton love and light as you continue this adventure that we're all on. Thank you for
you love it.
It's been an awesome hour with you. Thank you. Everyone else, come join us tomorrow, 7 o'clock with the fabulous Mike Ross. And until then, stay safe, stay positive. We love you. Love and light, and good night.
Good night, everyone.
Our old